almost a decade of painting rocks, I've always wanted to make a spaceship painted rock, and I've never done it, so that's what we're doing today. I'm starting out by lining out my design with my soapstone pencil, and then I'm going to give a nice base coat of Liquitex gesso. This is a stone that will definitely darken up when I resin it, so I want to try and give a nice base coat. This helps smooth out any little imperfections in the rock. There are a few little bumps in it, even though it looks really smooth. So the gesso just gives a nice base coat and something for the paint to grip to, and also helps it have nice bright color. And you'll also notice that I kind of apply it in sections, so pieces of the design. So you've got kind of the spaceship piece and then the lights that are coming down from the spaceship. I kind of fill it in sections so that when I come back with color, I still have a semblance of some guidelines. I'm also going to come back in with that soapstone pencil and put the alien head into the top of my spaceship. We're going to have a fairly large alien head showing through the glass, kind of that glass bubble. And I'm going to fill this in with gesso as well because it's going to be kind of a bright green that's going to need some base coat. Okay, let's take some silver paint and fill in the body of our spaceship. This is just kind of the color that came to mind for me, kind of thinking of metal. You might want to make it black. You might want to make it a metallic black. There's lots of things you could do, but silver was kind of what came to mind for me. And this will take a couple of coats because metallic paint often needs at least 2 coats to get a nice shiny metallic and to kind of hide the brush strokes. This first coat usually shows a lot of brush strokes, and a lot of people don't love that. I'm also going to take a fine line nail art brush and add just a little bit of a lip underneath the spaceship, kind of like the part that opens up and sucks people up if you were watching like an old horror movie or something. So just a little bit of a lip in here with the detail nail art brush. Now for the alien, I really want to go bright green, and I'm thinking I want to do glow in the dark paint as well. And to help the glow, I'm also going to add some glow powder. So I'm going to mix some black light neon green paint with just some regular green paint and the glow in the dark paint. And the reason I tossed in the regular green paint is it helps kind of give some body to the paint. Neon paints can often be a little bit too translucent. And then I also added this glow powder. So we're just home growing our green for the alien, and then I'm going to paint this on in several coats. This does feel very slightly gritty because of the glow powder, but it went on pretty smooth. So as you can see, it's almost yellow on this first coat, so it's going to take several coats to get a nice solid green alien head, and I'm going to use a larger brush to get better coverage on the subsequent coats. And the glow is really just kind of an added bonus. It's not necessary for the design. It just was something I thought of at the last minute, like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if it glows? Now for the lights coming down from the spaceship, I always knew I wanted sort of a bright / pastel rainbow of lights. So I'm going to use these Craftsmart multi-surface paints. Craftsmart is not one of my favorite brands. It's the Michaels kind of generic brand, but these multi-surface paints have won me over at different times in my painting journey. They do okay, and I just really like the colors of this set. So they do take several coats to get good coverage, but I like the bright kind of pastel but almost neon look of them. So that's the set that I'm going to use to create this rainbow coming down out of our spaceship. And like I said, we're going to need a second coat so we have nice, good, bright coverage of these colors. The stripes aren't perfectly even. That's okay. We're going to put some glitter paint over this, which also kind of helps it all blend together. But first, you got to get good solid coverage over the rock. Now I'm going to take my Posca PC 1MR paint pen and I'm going to outline the major parts of the design. So I'm starting with the spaceship. This just gives it a little bit more definition and separates the various pieces of the design from each other. So just a nice outline over the whole design. Now I want to try and create a cool glass look for that glass bubble where the alien is sitting. So I'm going to use my Dragonfly Glaze full spectrum and I'm going to paint that little bubble around the alien. I did not paint over the alien, just the kind of glass bubble that's around the head. I think if you wanted the true look, maybe you would go over their face, but I wanted the face to kind of stand out on its own. So I'm just kind of giving this little shimmery, it's a very fine glitter. I love Dragonfly Glaze. And that'll give that glassy look. And now I'm going to take my Folk Art Extreme Hologram glitter paint and I'm going to add that to the rainbow of lights coming down out of the spaceship. I just like sparkle and shine, and this just seems like a fun design to add lots of it to it. Since I decided to add glow-in-the-dark paint to the alien, now I'm like, oh, I need to add more because glow-in-the-dark is often a hard effect to get nice and solid as well. So I'm going to mix some more glow powder with just the glow-in-the-dark paint with no green and just add that over the top of our alien, a couple of coats, just for extra power on the glow if we can make that work. And now that the Dragonfly Glaze is dry, I'm going to take that Posca PC1MR paint pen and outline our glass bubble as well. Now I'm going to take a dotting tool and add some accents to the spaceship. So this is going to be the beginning of some lights. So I'm going to add black dots to start, and then I'm going to let those dry. And while I'm doing it, I came across my Dragonfly Glaze that is kind of a blue-violet tint, and I decided to add that over the full spectrum for the glass bubble because the bluish tint, I think, would give it a nice kind of that bluish sense of glass. And now I'm adding some yellow dots into our black dots because they're lights on the spaceship. So I did a light yellow and then kind of a brighter yellow inside of it while it was still wet. Now I'm going to take my soapstone pencil and line out my alien eyes, which these are harder to make than they look. So don't stress yourself out. Kind of think of an oval that sort of comes to a rounded point and have them angled in the side of the alien's head. And inevitably, I felt like I was uneven and was doing a little bit of kind of cleaning up to make it even. I'm also going to add some glow-in-the-dark paint on top of those lights to add another accent. And now we're going to add some stars. So I like creating these sparkly stars by using a dotting tool to put a dot of paint in the middle. And then I use my detail nail art brushes to draw out 4 points away from that center. And then I take in the middle and kind of even out that dot so that it's not rounded, but it's kind of pulling into each of the lines that's going outside of the point. And then I add 4 little lines coming in between the 4 longer lines. So we're going to make another one here, same thing with a dot, and then drag it out into 4 points, and then clean up that center dot and have it pull into those lines, and then add those 4 little lines in between the larger lines. Now the next part is writing something fun on the back, and I'm going to use my new ZSCM gel pen. So this one is white, and then I'm going to pull out of my new set and pull out the neon green. And what I'm going to write here is that I hope aliens believe in me too. Because I saw that saying on Pinterest on some clip art, and I thought it was so cute and kind of goes with the Kindness Rocks movement of, believing in yourself. And then I'm just going to play around and write, "You found a Kindness Rock, keep her rehide," on the back so that they know what to do with it. And of course, we have to test our glow in the dark. I added some lines to the lights below, which look a little bit like a jellyfish, but it glowed and it worked. I had so much fun making this design, and I have a whole bunch of ideas for variations. Thanks so much for stopping by to watch. I hope you got a little inspiration too. Take care, and I'll see you next time.